Literally thousands of people have said this keyboard is terrible, except there's just one problem, and that's none of them have actually tried it. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Howdy, hey, I'm Hipyo Tech, and I tried the Logitech Pro X 60, so you don't have to. Congratulations, Logitech. You guys did research, right? You didn't have to do that.
I don't like when my keyboard makes sounds when I'm not typing on it.
But I know what you're thinking. Logitech is a huge company. They have millions of dollars. There's no way they could make a bad keyboard. Well, let's just say not only will I be looking at the keyboard, I'll also be looking at their stupid marketing claims because boy howdy. All in hopes to figure out, is Logitech scamming gamers? Like, is this just a cash grab that they did no research on? Or did they accidentally just release a product from 2018? Stick around because it's a little bit of both.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, I hate the way that you dress.
Now you're probably wondering, Hipyo, why have you gathered all of us here today? Well, this story begins with an out-of-touch, very large corporation making a lot of very crazy marketing claims. And these are actually really important to see before we look at the keyboard itself. Oh, did I mention there was a tweet? And this tweet, let's just say it blew up just a little bit, but for the completely wrong reasons.
Hey, Jamie, could we pull up the clip, please?
So in this video, they make a couple claims. They say that this board was designed with pros, so please, let's keep that in the back of our minds. They say that it's engineered to win, whatever that means. I'm a bit confused there. And then optical switches, which, oh no, why? Now you're probably thinking, oh, Hipyo, they're just making some marketing claims. Everybody does that. But there's a press release, and oh my god, we gotta get to that, don't worry. With that incredibly underwhelming promo, the internet exploded. Everybody's calling them clowns, they're saying it's overpriced. Some people are saying it's clean and that it cooks. I'm not sure those people have ever tried a keyboard before though. But the vast majority said trash. So I thought, well, it's a gaming keyboard, it might be pricey, but it might not be that expensive. And then I saw this. $179 for a gaming keyboard? Well, yeah, I mean, it's actually not that expensive if it provides the right experience. I'm talking premium metal chassis, well-lubed switches, great software, great hardware, great support, the whole 9 yards. But based on what other people are saying, I think the real experience might be a little bit different. So immediately, I had to go and add to cart, and I'll see ya in just a moment. Now you're probably thinking, all right, Hipyo's gonna look at the keyboard. But wait, because in between the keyboard footage, we're also gonna be referencing the press release. Remember we talked about that earlier? Because the marketing people at Logitech were working overtime to potentially polish a turd. Or maybe it's really good, I don't know, we'll talk about that soon. So now that we've got the box, I gotta look back at what everybody else has said about this thing. Like Random Frank P said it's basically a pile of, dookie. Random Twitter commenters said that they're clowns for even releasing this thing. And wait, that's a really nice looking carrying case. Guys, I'm questioning things. Now, clearly, because there's a really nice carrying case, the rest of this unboxing experience is gonna be premium and include a ton of accessories. And for $179, that is what I would exactly expect. Now, if you're new to keyboards and you aren't really familiar with custom keyboards or anything like that, number one, run away. Please, just stay safe. Custom keyboards are too good. Will ruin everything for you. But then number two, custom keyboards have been getting so much better over the last few years. Like what was once considered a good value 3 years ago is now a total ripoff. Like this dongle ripping off the wireless. No, I just didn't have a good segue there. But I'll talk about that more when it's relevant later. With the wireless dongle and a single shine-through keycap. Oh, can't forget the cable, can't forget that. Wait, is that like it? Like there's no keycap, switch puller? Guys, there's no extra anything else in the box? I didn't miss anything? Wait, you serious? You're kidding, right? No accessories? Like, at all? You've given me a cable, but I feel like that's the bare minimum. If this is pro, then I'm gonna wanna customize it. I want a switch puller, a keycap puller. I mean, the carrying case, great step in the right direction, but you missed the easiest things. You guys did research, right? Right? Now, that's definitely a fluke and totally not going to be the whole entire core of this video, so let's check out the keyboard. I'm super excited. This thing's probably going to be really professional, and holy cow, it looks so cheap. Now, I know Logitech is a gaming company. I actually absolutely love Logitech. I'm a massive Logitech fanboy for their mice. In fact, the G502 Lightspeed is probably the only mouse I'll ever use because of one thing: the infinite scroll wheel. So sometimes it is about that one feature that can make a product for you. But when you think of professional, you usually think of the best, right? Like pros, they're the best at gaming, they deserve the best. And why are you disrespecting them with this build quality? Pro esports demand the absolute best equipment to improve their competitive play. The 60% keyboard form factor, blah, 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 blah. They're saying that this is the best keyboard for pros. Pardon me, what pros did you design this with? And had they ever tried a keyboard before? That is a crazy claim. Like, you might have said, like, we want a high quality, I don't even know, but this is already crazy. They're already saying that it's the best for pro gamers. Now, I know a lot of pro gamers, and a lot of them don't actually care about their keyboards or their hardware that much. Like, they just want something that works reliably. So maybe that's what they were going off of? Okay, so the build quality here is woefully underwhelming. Like, a plastic keyboard for $180 in 2024 is legitimately uncalled for, unless we're talking solid polycarbonate, stuff that no gamer would ever care about. But guys, this is zero compromise performance. They're not compromising on anything here, which is why they went with cheap feeling buttons and a basic plastic chassis. You know when you do something wrong and your parents tell you, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Well, I'm mad. What are you guys thinking? But that's not it, because maybe the switches will be redeeming. Maybe the typing experience is great. Maybe there's something else under the hood that I don't know about? Let's just take Logitech's word for it and go to their press release for investor relations. Logitech, a leading innovator of gaming technologies and gear, announced the Logitech G Pro X Lightspeed, a compact, professional-grade keyboard that liberates valuable space to meet the evolving needs of pro gamers. I mean, yeah, congratulations Logitech, you discovered what a 60% keyboard is. That's revolutionary. Nobody's ever done it before. Hey Logitech, you guys know you aren't the first person to make a 60% keyboard, right? Like, you aren't the first person to make a 60% keyboard. This is not revolutionary that you made the keyboard smaller. Now, to their credit, they did use metal for the plate for this thing, which is what all the switches sit in, except not to their credit, that made their whole entire board incredibly stiff. Like, there's no play to it, there's no give, it's not soft. Unlike the side volume knob, which, you know what, 10 points. I love these side volume knobs, 10 points. Now you're probably wondering, Hipyo, they're already down, stop kicking them, stop kicking them. Well, no, I'm gonna keep kicking, because these double shot PBT keycaps are incredibly cheap, and you see the huge gap in between them? That means that they're very thin. They also have wonky legends and really poor shine through, which we'll be looking at more later. And you're probably wondering, Hipyo, why are you being so mean to this gaming brand? And part of that is because there's so much potential here for a big gaming brand to come in and just make a better keyboard. Like Asus has tried it, Razer has tried it, I guess. And Logitech has given us these switches. Wait, weren't these supposed to be tactile? These were supposed to be tactile, right? Right? Jamie, can we get the clip on that one? Add to cart. Add to cart. Add to cart. Now, this board comes with two different switch options, a linear and a tactile. Now, tactiles are supposed to have a physical bump when you press them, although the bump on these really just does not feel existent whatsoever. Think standard Cherry MX Brown, where you press it and you get the littlest tiny bit of resistance and nothing more. But that's fine, because you can just pull them out and replace them and it's no big deal, and oh, God, no. So not only has Logitech opted for an optical switch, which, to be fair, is a really great style of switch, they've opted for a completely closed ecosystem. You can't replace these switches with your favorite Cherry MX style switch. You can't even replace these switches with your favorite optical style switch. This is the least professional way you could make a keyboard customizable, by making it not customizable whatsoever. In this case, the one feature that makes this product is not these switches. I'm not really sure why Logitech decided to opt for optical switches. That's a bit of a mouthful here. But it actually isn't doing them any services. If you want to use any other switches with this thing, you can't. That is the least professional thing I've ever seen. Well, unless we're talking Pro by Apple standards, because they really don't like any form of integration. Oh, on top of that, the switches also feel and sound terrible, but we'll get into that more later. Now, this is a gaming keyboard, so we need to have RGB, which sadly looks really terrible. Like, what? Now, I'm a gamer. I'm a sucker for some RGB, and this RGB is pretty disappointing. It's not very bright. It doesn't really get the job done. All of the keycaps have just a shadow on their shine through, especially these bigger keys. So it feels really cheap. Now, while I was checking out the RGB, I also had to check out the Logitech software and the wireless, which this keyboard is wireless to their credit. And I honestly don't have any complaints. I've been using Logitech software for my G502, which is my favorite mouse, by the way. Let me know if you want a video on that, for the last couple of years. And by no means am I a software power user, but I have used it for macros, rebinding keys, lighting control, blah, blah, blah. And I haven't had any software bugs with it. So honestly, Logitech does get a software pass from me, especially because it's not like Chinese malware or something. Now, one thing I would have preferred for their keyboards is more macro layers being available, because it seems like there's only 3, but maybe I just missed something in my quick glance over of the software. But overall, great stuff. Okay, well, my first grain of hope has been ruined. These keycaps are genuinely terrible. And the shine through is actually to their detriment, because there's massive hot spots anytime you have the RGB going. Like, I'm seriously wondering, did you guys do any work whatsoever to make a keyboard up to 2024 standards? Okay, wee woo, new issue. Look at how much wobble is on this thing when I type and move the keys around. There should not be this much wobble, especially with box stems, which are typically the least wobbly stems in keyboard switches. Don't worry, we'll get back to that later. But you're probably wondering, Hipyo, this is a gaming keyboard. How does it work for actual gaming? And I did use it for the last 7 days to play games, and it's a keyboard. They have that going for it. But let's get a quick little summary. If they were trying to be the best gaming keyboard, they would have gone with the Hall effect switch, like on Wooting keyboards. While those keyboards won't make everyone a better gamer, if there's someone that's trying to optimize every single little drop out of their peripherals, then Hall effect is really the only way that you should go. And if they just wanted a really solid switch that the vast majority of people could use, there's literally thousands of different mechanical switches that would all provide an impeccable performance for gaming that would also provide a wonderful performance for gaming. Because why would you want a game on a switch that just feels worse? Especially if you're gaming for ungodly amounts of hours. We don't need, I won't tell. Don't look up my RuneScape hours. That's gonna be bad for anyone. Okay, maybe I'm insane. Maybe this thing will just magically make me better at gaming because it's a pro gaming keyboard, right? Ah! Oh, well that's actually really interesting. New development. If you're someone that rages at all during gaming, this might actually be the worst keyboard for you. Because of how obscenely rattly it is, because of the terrible switch and keycap tolerances, if you drop this keyboard at all, it just starts pressing random buttons. In fact, oh, mine just turned itself off just from randomly dropping it. So between the dropping issue and the rattling issue, I think there's a severe problem here with these switches. And that's kind of my experience all over here. Like, personally, I find 0 redeemable qualities about this keyboard that would make me recommend it to someone else. But maybe I'm too biased. Maybe I'm too in my own sauce. I need a second opinion. So I pulled in Sick Josie. I need you to try this keyboard.
Okay.
And then what do you think of it?
I think I don't like when my keyboard makes sounds when I'm not typing on it.
Oh, you noticed the rattling?
Yeah, I don't like that. It looks really cool. I don't like how it sounds, but I like the bass. I mean, it seems nice.
There's some redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
But then, what if I told you the price?
How
It's
much?
$179 US. Here's a keyboard that's half of its price.
Whoa.
What would you say is higher quality?
Well, I mean, I love a good metal case. This one is really nice. I like the little symbol there.
Yeah. I used to like those.
That sounds good.
So, in typical Josie fashion, she proved that, yeah, there are redeeming qualities to this. And yeah, maybe I am a bit blinded by hatred. There could be some aspects of this keyboard that you could personally like. However, I do want to say that everything that this keyboard does, another keyboard does better and cheaper. Or a lot better and a bit more expensive. I can't help but question, why do they call this thing Pro? What were they thinking? Now, I know this is mostly preference, but I actually really hate how the case stops and gives it this floating keycap style. Because when gaming, I like to really rest my pinky against this side of my board. And this just ultimately feels pretty uncomfortable for long periods of gaming. Like, this is entirely preference, and some people might really like this style, but for me, this thing feels incredibly cheap to game on, to type on, to exist with. Is it Pro yet? Nothing about this makes you a better gamer more than any other keyboard. In fact, I'd probably play a lot better on a keyboard that I liked a lot more. And I know you're probably wondering, Hipyo, what's it like on the inside? What's it like if I mod it? And literally, all I have to say, it's not worth it. If this thing was $30 or $50 or no, just about $50, then I would say it's worth it. It's worth something. But this is like a GK61, but almost worse because it had a big brand behind it. I'm like seriously scratching my head trying to come up with what the board meetings might have been like around this thing because a team made this. And they're real people that have real lives and real research. And this feels like the least passionate thing I've ever seen come out of gaming hardware. This feels like they cared a lot 6 years ago, and that was it. Nothing more. Nothing later. So was everybody right to roast this thing? Well, nothing about this is pro. The only thing about this that is professional is that you would be a professional idiot to choose this over the hundreds of other keyboards that are gonna do the same exact thing, but cheaper or better. It is kind of unbelievable how much Logitech missed the mark here, especially considering how good the keyboard market is in 2024. Now, you're probably thinking, Hipyo, you're overreacting, or Hipyo, there's some redeeming feature quality about this board. And I've tried hundreds of keyboards, hundreds, and I cannot tell you one thing that this keyboard does better than any of those, period. Maybe software, but that's subjective as hell. Logitech G60 Pro? Logitech G60, no. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, and it's that, well, that keyboard is actually a lot better than my keyboard. For those people, number one, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. And number two, I will be giving away this keyboard for just $1. And you're also going to want to listen to this because I'll also be giving everyone $5 to spend on my new keyboard marketplace. Yeah, you heard me right. Keyboard marketplace.
Hey, come on down to the boardwalk. We got keyboards over here.
Boardwalk is my brand new, incredibly sleek keyboard marketplace where you can buy, sell, and chat about keyboards. Now, this is absolutely fantastic if you want a new keyboard, because if you use the link in the description, you'll get $5 off your first order. But also, I've seen your closet. You have a lot of stuff laying around that I think you'd like to get rid of in order to fund other things, like college. But that's not all. Because I'm working with District, we're also able to provide full buyer and seller protection. So if something goes wrong, we swoop in and save the day. I think it's a super great alternative to stuff like Mech Market because not only is it safer, it's also way easier to use as a buyer and a seller. Oh, but also if you sign up, then you can get your own referral link and give a friend $5 and get $5 off of their first order. So for more info on Boardwalk and the giveaway, click that link down below because it ends in 7 days.